Her message flashed on my screen. "How are you? Feeling lonely?" I was sitting by myself in the living room, staring at the same suitcase she'd insisted I shouldn't worry about. For months she had been slipping away from me, treating me like I was background noise while pouring all her attention into her friends, her phone, and especially this trip she kept calling a much-needed break. She left with a kind of excitement I hadn't seen in our marriage for a long time, and none of it had ever been for me. So when her text arrived, I knew exactly what it was. Not love, not concern, a test. She wanted me to admit I felt empty without her, that I was waiting miserably for her return. But I was done pretending our marriage was fine while she treated it like an afterthought. My fingers hovered over the keyboard before I typed slowly, intentionally. I miss absolutely nothing. The second I pressed send, I felt something shift, like the balance of our entire relationship had tilted. She didn't respond right away, and I could practically picture the smirk sliding off her face, replaced by confusion, maybe even annoyance. Then the typing bubble showed up, disappeared, came back again, like she couldn't decide how to react. Finally, what's that supposed to mean? I didn't bother explaining. Instead, I opened the hidden folder on my phone, the one I'd been quietly filling for weeks. Late-night chat screenshots. A hotel reservation she accidentally synced to our shared email. Photos her friend posted where a man she claimed she barely even talks to anymore kept appearing in reflections. For so long, I tried to convince myself I was imagining things, that maybe I was being insecure, maybe I was overthinking. But the truth had been sitting right in front of me. She hadn't been losing interest in life. She had been losing interest in me. So instead of answering her text, I sent one more message. Open the next file. Then I uploaded the first group of screenshots. Seconds later, she erupted. "Why are you going through my things? This is insane. You're being paranoid." But her outrage didn't come from innocence. It came from being caught. I sent the next batch. The photo she thought she cropped well enough, even though a man's reflection lingered behind her. The receipt for dinner, 2 entrees, time-stamped 11:45 p.m. The poolside picture her friend posted where she had behind sunglasses. Forgetting reflections never lie. Suddenly her replies stopped altogether. No excuses. No sarcasm. Nothing. So I shoved the truth even closer. You don't need to keep pretending. I know who you're with. The second she saw that message, her call started, one after another, ringing like an alarm I had ignored for too long. After the 7th missed call, she finally texted, "Please answer. You don't understand." But I understood perfectly. She wasn't terrified because she cared about losing me. She was terrified because her secrets were falling apart faster than she could spin new lies. I sent her another message. "Want me to show you what else I know?" Then I attached a screenshot from the hotel lobby camera, something I'd received from an anonymous message the day before. Someone who recognized her. Someone who knew me. There she was, standing far too close to the same man she claimed she'd blocked months ago. Her reaction was instant. "Where did you get this? Who's sending you these?" I didn't answer. Her panic was enough. She called again, longer this time, more desperate. I finally texted, "Enjoy your trip while you still can." That was the moment her world cracked. She replied immediately, "No, I'm coming home right now." The woman who left with a bright smile was suddenly frantic, terrified, scrambling to regain control of a story she never expected me to question. Piece by piece, she started confessing, claiming she ran into him by accident, that they only talked, that she didn't want to upset me. Every message contradicted the last. I didn't argue. I didn't correct her. I let her dig her own grave with her lies. Then she finally wrote, "Please don't leave me." The irony stung. She had emotionally checked out long before this trip. She just never imagined I might walk away too. While she panicked and rushed to book an early flight home, I spent that hour packing her belongings. Not out of rage, out of clarity. With every shirt I folded, I felt a chapter closing. With every tape box, I felt myself taking my life back. She showed up far earlier than expected, still wearing her travel clothes, hair messy, eyes swollen from crying. When she saw her luggage stacked neatly by the door, she froze as if reality itself had slammed into her. "Why? Why are my things packed? she whispered. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I answered her in the simplest way possible. Because everything you believed I never noticed, I already knew. She dropped onto the couch, trembling. Please, she whispered, just talk to me. But conversations were what I had been begging for months. Talking was what she continually avoided. Every time she angled her phone away, every secretive smile at a message, every excuse she gave instead of an explanation, she refused to communicate. As she looked around the room, so quiet, so clean, so empty of the chaos she created, it finally hit her, harder than anything I could have said. This wasn't a threat. This was the reality. I wasn't leaving anymore. I was already gone. She began pouring out excuses, disjointed, emotional, desperate. She said she felt confused, that the trip spiraled, that she never meant for things to escalate the way they did. She reached out to take my hand, but I stepped away gently. Don't, I told her softly. That was the moment she broke. She folded into herself, sobbing, crushed under the weight of consequences she never imagined she'd face. We can fix this, she pleaded. We can start fresh. I'll cut him off. I'll do whatever you want. I shook my head. You only want me now because you're terrified of losing me, not because you actually love me. Her crying grew harder. She whispered, That's not true. That's not true. But even she didn't sound convinced. For the first time, she realized a version of me who begged for attention didn't exist anymore. After a long, heavy silence, she asked in a fragile voice, Is there any chance left? The question lingered like smoke. I thought about the early days, when laughter came easily, when touch was natural, when trust wasn't something we had to negotiate. But those memories felt like they happened to different people entirely. No, I said quietly, not anymore. She nodded weakly, as if the words physically pushed her backward. She wiped her face in mechanical motions, trying to clear the tears before they could reveal how deeply the truth had shattered her. I didn't think you'd ever walk away, she whispered. I met her eyes, the same eyes that once held everything I wanted, and replied, That was your mistake. She rose unsteadily, grabbed the handle of her suitcase, and made her way toward the door. Before stepping outside, she turned back for one last look. Her face was drained, exhausted, stripped of all the confidence she'd walked out with just days before. I thought you would miss me, she said softly. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The silence spoke for me. She stepped out, closing the door behind her with a soft click, the quiet sound of a marriage ending not in anger, but in honesty. I sank onto the couch, letting the stillness settle over me. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. Her final message. I'm sorry. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel rage. I felt free.